love that song from Evo. It's very appropriate here. Welcome back to another episode of Sleepy Hollow, the missing episodes. Last time, Team Witness has actually managed to go through the Suicide Woods, the second portion of Violence. And thankfully, they weren't tempted by the suicide fruit that grows there and winds up as one of the damned. However, since Jenny has the virtue of faith and as well as the Holy Cross, she was able to resurrect some of the damned, such as Romeo and Juliet, and a few parody names. I'll let you guys figure out the details. Believe it or not, Daniel Reynolds is there. Ugh, God damn him. Especially his role in season 3. It was pathetic. It was terrible. He deserves this. So, they make their way there. Bleh. With Gavin in despair, actually, Jenny stood by him, and the rest of the team make their way to the third violence ring, which is the Abominable Desert. Alright, Chapter 19, Violence, Part 3. Laura screeched over the blinding sandstorm. These abominable sands are the cursed home for those who have committed violence against the deity. It also divides the sinners into 3 groups, the blasphemers, the sodomites, and the usurers. So blasphemers are those who oppose God and his creations, while the sodomites attack nature. I think it may seem it's the child of the Almighty. And the usurers are those that vandalize art, which may be the grandchild. Perhaps those that destroy museums may end up here, like those who burglarize. No one reminded her remark. Their eyes strained to see ruins of what looked like palaces and cities. To them, they were nothing more than enormous dunes, made by talented architects on a beach, although there was no water nor rain. They also saw crusaders that defied God wander aimlessly throughout the circle. While covering her mouth with an arm, Laura mentioned that there's no rain here. Instead, the demons are met by fire showers. Kind of like those fiery debris from volcanoes. That's how I would like to see it. Ha! Maybe those pharaohs and their followers that opposed Moses and treated the Jews badly ended up here too. She followed Laura's lead. They were certainly lucky that scorching deserts never burned nor blistered their feet, even though sand was already entering their boots. They were also relieved they could stay afloat if there was any quicksand nearby. Thankfully, they escaped the fate of the rest of the demons. Some were just sitting still like statues covered in sand, their bodies in fetal positions as they rocked, huddled, and cried in agony. Laura labeled them as the usurers. Others were pinned down and had their vulnerable bare bodies hit by the fiery debris, while still being burned within the sands to have their punishments against God to take full effect. The witness identified them as the blasphemers, the cruelest of all the inhabitants, and finally the sodomites. They were free to roam the stormy region but without any rest. One by one the damned were recognized, each with their own consequence. First and foremost were the group of Satanists. Rosemary's Baby for the win! Or loss, haha. If you guys see the demon from within, you should know this, and the Satanists by far deserve the worst. Even worse than Rosemary. She gave birth to it, she didn't know, but they planned this thing. They were even so close to committing her. They deserved the absolute worst. That serves those bastards right! Laura was the only one who never knew them, nor the nightmare Molly had. It was obvious since she was from a timeline that was dominated by her adoptive father Malcolm. Jake and Alex barely saw an old man in his 50s, who was actually John Winchester. Ha 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 ha! I hate their father so much, especially when he made that deal with Azazel. He's not going to reunite with his wife now. The roles were certainly reversed, that's for true. Well, I suppose that's what you get for selling your soul, eh? That's where we saw Dreyfus earlier. Speaking of which, shouldn't Joe be here? We'll have to find out. He must be. Meanwhile, further down the desert of sinners, Jenny and Gavin were struggling as much as their teammates against their strong winds and sand tossing around them. The tracks end here, but I'm sure they went this way. She looked down and saw the prints, barely visible as they faded almost instantly amongst the layers. Ugh! I think they headed straight. Jenny grabbed him for support. Since they weren't part of the damned, their bodies weren't protected from the virtue symbols, acting as a protective invisible shield. We shouldn't linger here. Come on! She pulled him forward through the storm as their exhausted bodies had their feet nearly smothered. They also noticed the fireballs raining down. We have to keep moving till we get to the next ring. Don't look back. Ugh, I'm kind of thirsty right now. No time! We must proceed and meet the others. Both Gavin and Jenny remembered the harsh environment and who'd end here. He questioned her. You think Katrina might be here? I'm just saying. She should be here since she went corrupt upon exposure to the black magic by Solomon. I've heard, but I doubt it. If I'm right, it should be a treachery. With Crane! Hearts began to race. Though we've no time to lose. Pent-up strength, they followed through. Duo encountered Dante's former best friend and Beatrice's brother. But there's not going to be a battle here. There's just going to be someone else. You'll see. Anyway. But Dante's not here. Why does Francesco still want him? He's been dead for the past several centuries. Her suspicion was interrupted by a few battle cries. They barely made out the other teammates. It must be them! Hurry! It was pretty easy as they were able to clobber a sinister elderly man clad in a black robe. So, yeah, they fought him, but they're going to be dealing with someone else. His body dissolved with the blown sands, and Team Witness was running out of steam. Alex wiped loads of sweat from her forehead. Whew! How much more can we hold out? We have to find some shade to the other ring. The others couldn't agree more as they dragged their exhausted feet. The sand got deeper, the desert widening more. Ah! Team Witness! You have survived and made it to my lair. Impressive. Job! I should have known you would have been here. No doubt since you were known as the Prince of Pain. Indeed I am. Oh, put those away. They are useless here since they're now in my domain. The trio drew out their Delilah dagger replicas. With a swift move of his hand, the tools went flying out of their hands and stuck in a large stone-like dune nearby. Now where are we? Oh, wait. Now, where are we? Oh, yes, I know. You are here because you want to save your precious witness Ichabod, are you not? You've given me the favor when he gave me the Philosopher's Stone and negated Malcolm's immortality. As a result, you appear to be desperate on retrieving his soul after he willingly made a deal to retrieve it. It's futile of you to try to break the eternal contract over his head. What's with you? You used to be Malcolm's trusted bodyguard and mine. You've protected me from bullies and made them suffer for their antics, and even taught me the ways of the supernatural. How could you be so cold? I trusted you. Laura, he's a demon. Yes, and now you've walked into my turf. Off with all of you! Stretched his arms, an intense wave of dark energy forcing the four back. Sam provided a little to no friction as they were just clothes being blown in a line with strong gusts. Out of nowhere, yeah! Blonde also drew out his iron blades and made that quake. So, you're not alone. Jenny and Gavin. Such a pity you'll be eternally bound here. Forced the two toward the same dune their short knives were trapped in. They were all captive as well, like flies in a sticky spider web. Pressure gradually got worse as the gravity was crushing their immobile vessels. "You'll all be joining Ichabod soon!" Everyone braced the worst, realizing that their defeat was inevitable. Then, something burst from within each of their clothing. 6 containers popped, except one just blew out compressed air while the rest released their liquid contents. They weren't able to realize that their holy water super soakers have caved in from Job's crushing wave. "What's this?" Their bodies were soaked, and the sacred water helped them break free while it ran on the dissolving dune. The holy water was certainly a sign of weakness, as Job's palms were stinging, as if corrosive acid was on them. 6 eventually recovered, and not a moment too soon, threw all of their holy grenades straight at him. Job began to roll in intense pain. Soon, much like the dune, his own body started to disintegrate and sink into the abominable sands. They felt the ground shake beneath them, and the sand began sinking pillar by pillar, descending into a deep, dark chasm. The dust cleared from the sight as the earth shaking halted. This must be the entrance to the 8th circle. Defeating Job must have unlocked it. He was indeed the keeper of this ring, after all. It was here all along. "Let's get going. Crane can wait no longer." A vehement voice stopped in their tracks. They spotted an enormous shadow that seemed to cover a third of the blustery sky. "Yes, he can't." "Lucifer!" "Crane is with me, safe at the final circle. I'll be sure to make my domain more welcoming for your perseverance. You've only scratched the surface of what lies ahead. We can save Ichabod. You can count on it. It's a pity you never feasted on the delicious fruits I have provided. It seems that my apprentice is your only driving force as of now." "Apprentice? You don't mean—" "Indeed. He will be my right hand as Christ was God's, and be the herald of the apocalypse soon enough. Once the virtue of prudence fails, he will succumb to the darkness, as he shall fulfill his destiny as a true witness, and wreak havoc amongst the earth. He will govern not the feeble 7, but rather all life itself. If he serves a tribulation once, he shall do so again and evermore." "No, he can't!" "Try as you might, mortals. You will never save him." I tried to do the intimidating laugh. For once, they were stunned silence, wondering if their pilgrimage would be worth it in the long run. Yet again, the characters from the overrated horrific Rosemary's Baby is on here, and they deserve the absolute worst. They were definitely the Satanists. They deserved to be hammered down by the fiery debris and were stunned for eternity. Also, John Winchester made an appearance, and no doubt, I hate supernatural. While it was noble of him to sacrifice himself to save his own family, I never liked him to begin with. To me, saving Dean was a big mistake from his out-of-body experience. Labeling Sam as a herald of the apocalypse and wanting him killed for it was just uncalled for. Damn you! Even the fact he's supposed to be their own father who's been missing for some time. Putrid Father of the Year is how I describe him. As well as the song parody, "We all hate supernatural. It just keeps on going and it's overflowing. We all hate supernatural, but we try to end it, but still let's defend it." I made the parody. By the way, I shall give a link to the description. Heck, Beatrice's brother is on here, and so is the Prince of Pain. And here are the songs for that. So, they finally make it through violence. That was very long. But they don't have a lot of time. Ichabod's life is really at stake now. Is his damnation truly set? Are his friends too late? Find out next time, sleepyheads. Until then, this is the Ecron Writer signing out. Good luck, Team Witness.